Hello and welcome to our third episode of INTERGITY Project podcast. I'm your host Madina and today is our guest Mohammad. Today we will delve into urgent environmental problems and how they relate to the concept of Sustainable Development Goals. Mohammad, can you please introduce yourself first?
Hello, thank you very much for having me. My name is Mohammad Habib Abdullah. I'm originally from Afghanistan, but currently living in Kazakhstan and working as well at the same time. And thank you for having me.
Great. Thank you for joining us. Let's start by understanding the concept of ecological integrity and how it aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals. What are the differences between them, and what are the implications if we neglect their conservation?
Thank you very much for the question. So, when we talk about ecological integrity, we mainly refer to the health and resilience of the ecosystem, where biodiversity thrives and natural processes are intact. It also, like obviously, it's clearly aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals because without ecological integrity, we cannot have sustainable development. In other words, ecological integrity, it's 100%, I would say, is crucial for development of other Sustainable Development Goals. So in 15, like out of 17 goals of Sustainable Development Goals, 15 of them mention about life on land, and that focuses on mainly about ecological integrity, which means that the world in which we are living, all the humans, forests, natural resources, and then animals, and everything should develop at the same time. It should not be like, for example, humans should develop in terms of economically and so on and so forth, while ignoring the other part, which is very important, and that is natural resources, and at the same time, the human, like animals, and so on and so forth. So in short, I would say that ecological integrity and sustainable development goals, they are very connected to each other, which is without ecological integrity, we cannot have other sustainable development goals. In case if we want to have that, for instance, if we have a very good, let's say, economic development and so on and so forth, but if we have, on the other hand, not biodiversity on land and like wildfire happening around the world and so on and so forth, it's not really what the life means. So in life, we have to have a balance of natural biodiversity, like animals, humans. They all should go together. This is what I believe is important.
Yeah, great. So also, could you please explain how Sustainable Development Goals set by United Nations promote the conservation of ecosystems, and if you know are some real life examples of how making progress towards these goals, I mean achieving the protection of ecosystems, and um, how it connected with the well-being of ecosystem.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Actually, Sustainable Development Goals, when we have 17 of them, it partly, as I said, 15 goals out of 17, it mentions about life on land, which is related, connected to biodiversity and all the things which are like on the land. So it's very connected to ecological integrity. And through this Sustainable Development Goals, United Nations encourages all the nations in the world to adapt their policies, national policies, and so on and so forth, accordingly. So, in other words, this United Nations Sustainable Development Goals encourage, specifically the 15th goal, encourage other nations, all the nations around the world, to take action against to take action, sorry, towards ecological integrity, to be more sustainable in all their aspects, in all their development aspects. So yeah, like one of the goals of development goals, in fact, is about life on land, and that is mainly about this ecological integrity. It encourages all the nations around the world, as I said, to take actions towards it, so that we have a sustainable development world. We are all the creatures have the same speed of the development, and we can live in a safe environment around the world.
Okay. So also, what about the threats that ecosystems worldwide face with, and how understanding these threats may help us to appreciate the urgency of conservation of ecosystem?
Yeah. So in this question, I would say I would start with one of the recent speech of United Nations Secretary of General, where he mentioned that now, for the time being, unfortunately, we are we already passed the global warming. So now we are in the phase of global warming, which means that now the world, unfortunately, is in a phase that everyone, everywhere, all the nations, regardless of their development category or so on and so forth, they all of them, in one way or another, they are in threat. For instance, you see that wildfire is happening in the United States, although it's a very developed country. Wildfires happening in Afghanistan, wildfires happening in Kazakhstan, so and a
Even
lot of
in
people are dying
Kazakhstan.
because of this. So and people and human and the nature is burning. So it's all of them. It shows, it proves that we are the world is in fact in danger. The world is in fact in threat. So the only possible option for now, considering all the threats globally, is the fact that we should, as a world, as a citizen of the world, as the people living in one earth, we have to take action together, collectively, like ignoring all our differences, no matter where we are from Afghanistan, United States, or any other countries, or if we are developing so on and so forth. This the like natural disaster does not recognize any country. In other words, natural disaster does not respect and I mean, is not kind for any specific country. So if we don't take action collectively, we will collectively will be burned. This is the
Yeah.
truth, and we are seeing this in the world in a practical life. You see the wildfire happening in the United States. You saw in 2019 what happened in Australia. We saw what happened in Kazakhstan this year, for instance. We saw what happened in Afghanistan, for example, in the United States, in Canada. There are a lot of countries wildfires happening, and a lot of people are dying, and animals are dying, and that's real threat, in fact. It needs kind of collective action from all nations together,
Yeah.
ignoring all their differences.
So, how do you think? How should we contribute to the conservation of ecosystem our daily life?
So I think personally, this is my personal experience, and I think it would work. We now have to, specifically the youth, we should take action because the future belongs to us. We will be living in the future. And the world leaders, most of them are, I make this joke a lot of times, and the world leaders, most of them are old. They will die in 10 to 20 years. We will be, highly probably, we will be living, let's say, 50 or so on and so forth years, right? So future belongs to us. I strongly recommend, I strongly believe that it's youth who should take action. How we can take action? Simple way. Come together, understand each other, understand our differences, understand that we have a lot in common than our differences. We live in one world. We live on one world, one earth. It's our common common home. We call it United States, or for example, Kazakhstan, Afghanistan, so on and so forth. This is the names given for specific territory in one land, in one earth. So we have to forget about the names. We should come together and build something for our future, like shared future. We should work towards our shared future. So my point here is clear: to mobilize youth, to encourage them, not mobilize, not to encourage, but it's for youth who should wake up. They should not be asleep. They should wake up. They should see what's happening in the world. They should be realistic. They should forget about their differences of where they're from. I'm from the United States. I'm from Afghanistan, so on and so forth. I'm from Uzbek. You're American. So we should forget all of this. Otherwise, as I said, the nature will take action, which then, if it's late, all of us will be disappeared from the earth. So there will not be any earth, there will not be any human, we will not be here, everything will be disappeared. And all our efforts will be gone. So the only option, one of the very key and sustainable strategy we can take is that to motivate youth, to encourage them to take action, to come together. The first thing is to come together. Forget about your differences, we are from and so on. Come together, see what you can do as an individual, as a youth, specifically the educated ones. What you can do for your future, for your shared future, the future which is coming to you, if you want or you don't want. So yeah, so my thing is, it's clear. Otherwise, we already saw in a lot of years that the world leaders they don't take action. Unfortunately, the politics it works like this that it's a lot of countries they are now thinking about their own how they call it, their own benefit. Everyone wants to benefit in their own things and be the first in the world, which I think is not logical. Why? As I said, we are facing global threats which does not recognize any country. For example, wildfire, that's a very simple example. Wildfire does not say you are America, I will be like kind for you, you're Afghanistan, I will be harsh on you. No. It says that if you don't take action, I will take action against you against you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I believe. If we really, as a youth, want to a sustainable future, if we really want to a future in which we can implement all our ideas, in which we can live safely in an environment, that's the only option. Come together, take action together. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks. Can I ask you what kind of you personally, what kind of actions you did?
Yeah, so that the thing which I was saying, in fact, was based on my experiences, which I was saying that bring together youth and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the founder of Youth for Youth in Afghanistan, in my country, which is the largest online platform for capacity building and networking in Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
So we have two options and two objectives mainly to improve the capacity of youth in Afghanistan. Secondly, to bring them together, So far, I'm proud to say that after 3 years, which I started my initiative in 2020, after 3 years of hard work and dedication and passion, of course, I could bring together more than 10 communities from 34 all provinces of Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the past, for instance, a lot of like youth they had different kinds of mindsets, saying that for instance, I'm Persian, I'm Uzbek. They were like proud of their ethnics and so on and so forth, which is good to some extent. But I brought them together under my platform. I told them, look, our common thing are more than our differences. Our similarities are more than our differences. We live in one country. It is a small example of how youth-led action can impact. I said we live in one country. We belong to one country. We have this. Most probably, will have the same future in this country, right? Why not take action together to have a better future for all of us, not for ourselves, but for others who need our action? So, for your question specifically, what I'm doing is I'm bringing people from youth, specifically youth, from all communities and provinces of Afghanistan under one platform, and I'm telling them that this is our future. We will work. So our motto, in fact, our motto is towards a shared future. Together for a shared future. This is our motto. Together for a shared future. So I encourage them, saying that we have to work together for a shared future, not only shared future for ourselves, but for others in Afghanistan and beyond. And this is something which I'm doing in Afghanistan. But outside of Afghanistan, I'm also, for example, at Nazarbayev University of Kazakhstan, where I studied and now working. I try to mobilize volunteers. I see this capacity and this potential in a lot of youth here on campus in Kazakhstan overall, that they have this capacity, they have this potential, but they need someone to motivate them.
Mm-hmm.
They need someone to explore their potential and use it towards the community benefit. So I'm bringing, I'm creating, I already took several initiatives on campus, bringing youth from different communities, from different backgrounds together and doing the same, doing one objective, but more important than that one, I'm trying to, as I said in the beginning, I'm trying to help them understand that we are together and we have to work together for a shared future. So this
Mhm.
is what I'm doing in Afghanistan and beyond, and I think it's crucial for us. And I have some initiatives in the future, global wide initiatives,
Mhm.
and that's mainly focused on how we can bring together youths from around the world and motivating them with the fact that we all we live in one common home, which is called Earth. We don't have any second option. And this is, I mean, a lot of people use the word once in a lifetime opportunity. I say the life itself is once in a lifetime opportunity. So we have to live in a way that we want to, and we can. It's very easy. I mean, it's not like to deal. So tell you something. To deal with like this kind of natural disasters and so on and so forth, or to take action towards ecological integrity is not that difficult. A lot of people think that it's not. I mean, it's very difficult. You have to take one, how they can say you have to go to the mountain or do some hard things. No, it starts from how you behave in your own team. For example, instead of like pouring the water a lot and taking like 1 hour shower, take 10 minutes shower. Start from your own self. Take 10
Yeah.
minutes shower. Reserve some water, you know? So a lot of people, they say, and they say a lot, but in terms of taking action, they think that they have to take global action or national-wide action, which is not true. You can take from your home. Instead of taking 1 hour shower, take for 10 minutes. It's many other examples, very simple things we can do in your daily life. So that is how I think we can work for our shared future
Mhm.
towards ecological integrity.
Mhm. Also, I'm interested in how do you see the results of taking these actions? I mean, how the world should look like if we make a collective effort to protect our nature and to be more conscious with what we do in daily life.
So these actions which you start from your own self and from your own community and house, let's say, it looks very small for you. You say that, like, if I take 10 minutes shower, let's say, what will be the difference? If you
Mhm.
take 10 minutes, if I take 10 minutes, let's say if 1,000 people take 10 minutes shower, let's say instead of 1 hour,
Mhm.
imagine multiply this one by like so you reduce 50 minutes, right? You reduce 50 minutes, which means you reduce spending a lot of waters, right? If you multiply the collective action together, it will be a global action. It will be a very big impact. It will create a very big impact. So
Mhm.
for now, what we should do is not just speak. For example, now I'm telling you,
Yeah.
let's say, to take 10 minutes shower, right?
Mhm.
I should implement myself, right? So everyone should implement, and only by then we can have something of global impact. And I'm 100% sure, 100% sure, if we do some very basic things, as I said, starting from this taking shower and so many other very basic things, we can have a very, very better future than what's coming to us. If we go like this, if we go like this, um, I think, in a very near future. In fact, I read one article. I read one article. If the world goes like this by 2050, by 2050, the weather already we see the. Let me tell you a very example of something which I see myself, which I witness myself. So over the time in Afghanistan, I have been in China, I have been in Kazakhstan, and so on, and in Singapore and other countries. I saw that over the passage of the time, let's say in 2019, the weather here in Afghanistan, for example, the weather was much like. Cooler than this one, much better than this one, not that hot. But 2019, 2020 was much worse than the 2019. 2021 was worse than that one. 2000. So everywhere we see this, climate. Everywhere we see this climate differences, and everywhere we see the world's heat is increasing. And I call my friends this year, for example, right in Kazakhstan. Last year it was not that hot. I call my friends that in Kazakhstan it's very hot. My friends in Afghanistan, my friends in Canada, my friends in the United States, my friends in China, my friends in European countries, all of them they say that it's much like hotter than the last year. Which this is very clear example of where we are going as a world. Uh,
Mhm.
the global warming is increasing, the heat is increasing, so we are in a very big danger. So what we need to do is take small actions for a global result. And small action starts from you, from me. We should, for example, take action in our own environment, as I said, like taking a shower and many other small things. Plus, come together and understand that this is our common future. If we don't take action towards that one, we are done. So we have to come together, and of course, not this or not in 1 year, not probably in 2 years, but in the long run, we will see the effect, the
Yeah.
positive effect which we make today. So yeah, this is what I believe is the
Mhm.
fact that we should first of all start action from ourselves, from our families. Specifically, I'm telling this for the educated people, educated youth. So there are a lot of people, unfortunately, in the world. They have a master, PhD, and so on and so forth. The degree that doesn't mean you're educated, to be
Mhm.
honest. I'm specifically addressing this for all educated people, or in other words, for those who understand this fact that we are really getting to a point that we cannot return. So I'm telling to these people that please let's start from ourselves. Let's take very small actions, but sustainable actions. Let's
Mhm.
let's come together. Let's forget our what we have in difference and so on and so forth. Let's forget our differences. Let's ignore everything we have our the differences. Let's work towards our shared future. Otherwise, mm, if we don't want to, something is happening in a very near future, and that thing is going to be very, very disastrous. No matter where you are, United States, Turkey, Australia, Kazakhstan, and so on and so forth. This is happening globally, and if you don't take action globally, um, globally will be ruined from the world. So
Mhm.
that's what I believe. So, if I may speak for the last time,
Yep.
and one of the very misunderstanding among youths which I have seen so far is the fact that, first of all, thank you very much for having me. Secondly, one of the very big mistake and misunderstanding which I see among youth is the fact that, for example, one person is studying education, one person is studying biology, one person is studying engineering. They all think that it's the job of environmentalists to take action against towards environment.
Mhm.
But what I would say is, no matter who you are, as a teacher, as an economist, as a political science, or anything you are, this
Mhm.
is the time to take collective action. You can work as a, for example, you can be as a teacher, but at the same time, you can be an environmentalist. What I'm saying specifically is, for now, we are in a phase that we don't have someone specific called environmentalist. Everyone
Mhm.
should be environmentalist. Everyone should work towards this one. Otherwise, all of us will be gone sooner or later. Something is happening, and that thing is very dangerous. Thank you very much for having me, and I hope this all the things which I shared was mainly based on my experiences which I have seen
Mhm.
so far.
Mhm.
And I hope one day we as a youth will be coming together, and that day should not be too far. We should come together and we should take action together for our shared future, for a future that we want for ourselves and for the generations coming. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Muhammad,
You're
for
welcome.
sharing your expertise in this
Welcome.
vital topic. The conservation of ecosystem and pursue the sustainable development goals are interconnected topics that require our collective effort, as you said. So I hope that we can reach our goal and gather all the youth to be more conscious, to protect the nature, and to make an effort to make a differences, actions globally. So we hope our listeners gained valuable insight into the importance of ecological integrity. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to our listeners, don't forget to subscribe and to our Instagram account so you don't miss any future episodes. If you have any suggestions or questions, you may reach out us on our email as well as on our Instagram. Remember, our actions today shape the world we will inherit tomorrow.